Have you ever wondered what the various creatures of Monster Hunter might look like if their classifications were changed into other types? Well, let me break out the old drawing pad here and show y'all the redesigns that I came up with, so let's get to it. So, first up is one of my favorite monsters from the entire series, the Extinction Dragon, Nergigante. This aggressive Elder Dragon was first introduced to the franchise in Monster Hunter World. It is a beast covered in spikes that constantly regrow as they're broken off from its hulking body. Atop its crown are two massive bull-like horns that it can use to ram its adversaries. Its hide is primarily black in coloration, with some purple, orange, and yellow accents along its underbelly and wings. Nergigante here possesses a great deal of physical strength and speed that it relies on in combat, as it doesn't have any sort of elemental abilities. One of the coolest things about this beast is its Wolverine-like healing factor, which allows it to regenerate and recover from wounds almost instantly. The coat of spikes that it grows will start off as being soft and white and easily broken, but if left unchecked, they will eventually harden and become black, boosting its defensive and offensive capabilities. It'll attack anything without hesitation, especially if a creature dares attack it first. Nergigante is particularly ferocious towards other Elder Dragons, actively hunting and feeding on them to gain massive amounts of energy, and it has even been theorized that Nergigante may be nature's way of keeping the other Elders in check and balancing the ecosystem. Because of this, it will get into turf wars with monsters such as Kushala Daora or Teostra, and use its physical prowess to overpower them and feast upon their corpses. In terms of its design, I think Nergigante is top-notch, so this redesign you see me working on here isn't going to be an upgrade by any means, but rather just a switch up to the Brute Wyvern monster type, which for those of you who are not knowledgeable on the world of Monster Hunter, a Brute Wyvern is basically their term for a theropod. They are wingless beasts that walk on their strong hind legs with small forelimbs. Brute Wyverns are my favorite monster type because my favorite dinosaurs are theropods like the T-Rex or Carnotaurus. And since I'm turning it into this Brute Wyvern type, obviously it wouldn't be able to use some of the same abilities as an Elder Dragon type, which is mainly, flight and dive bombs, but it still is perfectly designed to charge headfirst into foes and batter them with its oversized horns, and use its powerful tail to swipe at foes, or its massive clawed feet to crush its victims into dust. Now, it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to draw all the spikes on creatures like these, but it's quintessential to the creature's look, so I wanted to make sure and give it the fully covered spiky boy look. I made a Monster Hunter video a while back where I ranked my top 10 favorite monsters from the series, and Nergigante here was one of the creatures who made the list, so be sure to check out that vid if you want to see what others made my own personal list. And here we have the completed redesign for Nergigante, the Extinction Wyvern. Let me know what y'all think about this one in the comments down below. And with this one out the way, let's go ahead and move on to the next one for today's video. Alrighty, so next up is the Electric Flying Wyvern Astalos. This creature was first introduced into the series back in Monster Hunter Generations. Its body is covered in dark armored plating, with a more brightly colored underbelly and a pair of wings that resemble something similar to that of an insect, like the glass-winged butterfly. Its long tail ends in barb-like pincers, somewhat reminiscent of an earwig. Astalos can generate green electricity by rubbing its body parts, which it will then release from its wings, tail, and horn. It can paralyze its foes by striking them with its electrified tail, and it can use its horn to create a powerful electrical blade to cut through enemies as well. It can also spit out blasts of electricity for some ranged damage. Now, this cool monster here is one of the members of the Fated Four, with the others being Mizutsune, who I did a redesign for here on the channel previously, so be sure to check that one out. Gammoth, the snow-clad mammoth-like monster. And of course, my personal favorite monster from the entire series, Glavenus. Now for my redesign here, since Astalos has insect-like attributes in its design, I thought it would be perfect to change its classification into that of a Neopteron. Neopterons are insect-like creatures known for having rigid carapaces. The other creature from the series that I used as the inspiration for this redesign is Atal Ka, which is a mantis-like monster. I just felt like it would translate pretty well to have Astalos here take on a mantis design where it can use its powerful scythe-like arms as thunder blades to slash at hunters trying to take it on. The most fun part of doing this redesign were the little wings attached to its limbs. I wasn't sure at first what the best approach would be to get them to have that same glass-like look with all like the little translucent qualities, but in the end I'm pretty happy with how they came out, and I learned a little trick or two that I'll be able to use in the future for my own creature concepts. And here we have the completed redesign for Astalos, the Electric Mantis. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And with this one out the way, we'll go ahead and take a look at the final monster for today's video. Last but not least is the crushing wyvern known as Brachydios. This powerful brute wyvern was first introduced to the series in Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. This brutish indigo beast is easily recognizable by the glowing green slime-covered horn and fists, as well as its armored blue plating made of obsidian. Now, unlike your typical brute wyvern that has small forelimbs, Brachydios here has a pair of massive ones that it uses in combat. By slamming its rounded horn or forelimbs into the ground, Brachydios will deposit a pool of slime, which over time will undergo a chemical reaction and explode. Eventually, the slime on its body will run out, which will then cause Brachydios to have to prime this mucus with its saliva to replenish it. Now, this green ooze can be a pain in the ass when fighting this monster because it can get stuck to you if you happen to run through any of the puddles on the ground, causing you to become a ticking time bomb. The only way for the hunter to rid themselves from this slime is to stop, drop, and roll several times, or by using a deodorant to expel it. When entering an enraged state, Brachydios' body will begin to glow a bright yellowish orange, which signals that the slime it will begin to expel will explode instantly, making it far more dangerous. Now for my redesign here, I decided to switch up the classification to that of an Elder Dragon. I thought it would be cool to attach those massive structures on the original design's forearms to the wings instead. And now it has the capability of flight, which gives it even more maneuverability, and it can crash down onto foes from high above and smash them with these newly weaponized wings. My favorite part of doing this one was honestly the coloring process and shading with all like the different plating and such. It's definitely got a unique color palette between that sapphire blue and the light green slime substance. Now personally, I think Raging Brachydios is cooler than just the normal one here, mainly because it incorporates a little bit more color variety, but that's just me. And I know this monster here is a fan favorite for many in the Monster Hunter series, so hopefully y'all like what I did with the redesign. And here we have the completed piece for Brachydios, the brutish indigo dragon. Let me know what y'all think in the comments down below. And that's going to be it for today's video. Do me a solid, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you like the content and want to see more. And give me some ideas for possible redesigns that I can do in the future. I also have memberships available for those of you who want to show some extra support to the channel, and also have access to all my past drawing live streams that I do here. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.